Welcome to the Bloomberg Law Bankruptcy Review. I'm Pacchia. I'm joined now by Bloomberg News editor-at-large Bill Rochelle. As always, you can check out his daily bankruptcy column available on BloombergLaw.com and also on the Bloomberg Terminal. Welcome, sir.
Good day.
So, lots of items to run through right now. We're going to take a look at the Dodgers case. It's been a while since we've run through an update on that one. What jumps out at you this week?
Oh, loads of fun. The Dodgers filed a paper, first under seal, where me and everybody else couldn't read it. But the judge wouldn't let him seal it, so I read it, and it's really interesting. It basically says that they went to a lot of folks on Wall Street to get a loan, but couldn't. This is around the time they went into Chapter 11. The people who declined to loan included Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, and GE Credit. And what was really interesting in this filing, that, as I said, the team tried to keep secret, was they recited how Goldman Sachs and GECC declined to lend because of what they said were concerns about Major League Baseball. Now, I don't think they meant they were concerned that Major League Baseball was going to dry up and blow away. I think what they were really referring to was the tussle that the secured lenders had a year ago in the Texas Rangers case, where a bunch of lenders at the time were accusing Major League Baseball of trying to sell the team to their preferred lender at a price very much below the market. And ultimately, as you recall in that case, the lenders won, and there was an auction, and the price went up, as I'm remembering offhand, something like 70, 80 million bucks. So that may explain why some of the heavy hitters on Wall Street declined to participate in the loan, which, as we know, is going to be made, God willing, by Major League Baseball itself.
Now, why was this filed under seal? I noticed that sometimes this is an irksome part of the process from your vantage point, but nothing jumps out at me in there that should have been sealed off.
Beats me. I didn't see anything in that paper that was so confidential, scurrilous, scandalous, or what have you, that it should have been under file. Fact of the matter is, it's just embarrassing, I suppose, for some of the people and some of the facts that were mentioned in it. But, you know, our system says that even if it's embarrassing, it should be filed publicly if it goes to the judge. And to his credit, the judge made him make it public.
Over the past year or so, we've talked about a fair number of sports organizations that have found themselves being dragged into bankruptcy court in one way or another. Do you think we're going to see more sports bankruptcies in coming months and years?
Well, we know one pretty much for sure, and that is to say the Dallas Stars of the NHL. They've got a deal to sell a team that's supposed to require Chapter 11, but that's hockey. And in a way, that's different because there have been several hockey teams to go through.
Right.
But now, in a space of about a year, we've had two Major League Baseball teams. I have a feeling, my gut is telling me, that if we don't pull out of this economic doldrum that we're in, and especially if it turns down again, we might see more filings. Perhaps in basketball, for instance, and even conceivably, God knows, possibly in football. But, you know, that's the best franchise out there, and I suppose those will be the last trees in the forest to fall.
It's just a matter of the United States consumer just being completely tapped out? Or
well, you know, it's pretty darn expensive to go to a professional sports game in any of the major leagues, in any sport these days.
Right.
And one wonders whether they've gotten to the point where there is possibly too much resistance to paying those prices, especially for teams that don't have winning records.
We also have a couple updates on a couple of the suits that the trustee for the Madoff estate has currently in process. Why don't you take us through the three there?
Well, beginning this week, we're going to start seeing the trustee for Bernie Madoff going into federal district court trying to defend or beat dismissal of some of the gigantic lawsuits that he's filed. Among them, we've got Fred Wilpon is trying to dismiss the billion-dollar lawsuit filed against him. There is Bank Austria and its owner, Unicredit, trying to dismiss a, get this, $58 billion lawsuit filed against it.
It's crazy in this case.
Citibank is trying to get dismissal of a $430 million lawsuit. You've got a bunch of other gigantic banks. Frankly, what it amounts to is if you are a bank in the United States and you weren't sued by the Madoff trustee, you must not be very important. That's really what it amounts to. Now, what we're going to learn as a result of these motions to dismiss is whether or not the Madoff trustee has basically stretched the envelope too far, stretched the rubber band, I should say, abused his status as a trustee, and simply reaching out to sue people who were innocent. And this is now resting in the hands not of the bankruptcy judge, but really of a couple of district judges in particular, Colleen McMahon and Jed Rakoff. And from them, we're going to learn whether or not the trustee has basically abused his privileges to try to recover money for customers. I mean, he's already recovered, approximately $9 billion, with more yet to come, we understand. But maybe he's reached too far. And what my concern here is that if he gets slapped down in the district court, and if the dismissals are upheld when they inevitably go up on appeal to the circuit court, this is not going to reflect well on Trustee Picard. And it may also have some repercussions for the bankruptcy system in general. Because in June, the Supreme Court, to my view, basically said that bankruptcy courts aren't much more than federal agencies. They're not real judges. Of course, we knew that already, that they weren't real judges. They don't have life tenure. But if you have a big smackdown of the trustee, and by reference also the bankruptcy court in the Madoff case, this may raise some eyebrows and may give some attention to the whole bankruptcy court system. And it could possibly lead to some reform, which I think is going to be inevitable anyway, because the Supreme Court has really cut the legs off of the bankruptcy courts when it comes to deciding lawsuits.
All right. Well, we'll have to leave it there for now. Bill, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
That's Bloomberg News Editor-at-Large Bill Rochelle. If you'd like to learn more about the cases or issues we just discussed, go check out Bill's column and also our daily podcast. Both are on BloombergLaw.com and also on the Bloomberg Terminal. I'm Pacchia. Thanks for watching.